Councillor Mugeti, thank you so much for checking. How are you checking this morning?
I am good. It's beautiful outside. Even though in Lesedi we're experiencing a lot of issues as we speak, but generally I think I'm okay. We are in a campaign mode. We're
Okay.
exhausted, but it also gives us an opportunity, I suppose, to share our vision and continue to engage with the residents on the ground. So that's
You,
how I'm checking in. That's
you
how
you
I'm
still have
feeling.
4 months to go. I mean, you you can't be exhausted
You,
now.
even if elections were to take place, I think in 2 months at this rate, it's far. You can imagine some of us are having sleepless nights,
Hmm.
going around all over the place, engaging with the community, speaking to them. That on its own is taking a toll or takes a toll. Registration weekend is coming. We are busy as politicians. And because also in my case, I suppose I'm still an MMC in Midvaal while I'm also running a campaign in Lesedi. You can imagine the two. It's quite a lot.
Eish, yeah. You started early. You started very early. Maybe that's why you're beginning to feel
We
the
needed to lay the
fatigue.
foundation.
The
Yeah.
other guys are gonna start and they'll come in with fresh energy.
But the nice thing is the message that we've been speaking to people and spreading across is now landing. At least starting early gives us an opportunity to go around, but not only start with messaging, start with listening to the residents and sort of getting a mandate so that when you go to the point of doing a pledge or a manifesto, it's based on real experiences and the engagements that you have had. So I suppose starting early is good because you can start with listening, understanding the issues. Because as politicians, we can develop manifestos from our offices, but it does not speak to the issues on the ground.
Yeah.
So it's always a good opportunity, I suppose, to engage and then come up with something.
Okay, so you want a bottom-up
Correct.
approach. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to you.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't know who Mokete Motsamai is.
Yeah.
How do you introduce yourself to the people of Lesedi? I suppose still a lot of people from the Midvaal don't know who Mugeti is.
I hope they do now.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised, especially the
It
MMC.
happens.
We don't know you
Yeah.
guys. That's the truth. But how do you introduce yourself?
All right. I am an MMC in Midvaal, currently responsible for corporate services.
Okay.
I've been with Midvaal now for 9 years, serving in various portfolios. I started as an MMC actually in 2017.
Okay.
I'm responsible for development planning and human settlement.
That
at
was
the
during
time.
Bongani Baloyi's
Correct.
term. Okay.
Yeah, correct. That's when I started. And at some point, I moved into corporate services. And now I'm back again at corporate services. So, corporate services are more responsible for or it's a portfolio that is responsible for your legal services, your human resources, ICT, and communications for the municipality.
What is ICT?
Oh, that is your IT. I should have just said
Okay.
IT.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but it's more internal facing.
Okay.
Making sure that the systems of the municipality are in order, the integration, the softwares, or making sure that we prepare the municipality for the future in terms of technology. But we cannot only plan for the municipality internally and leave the communities out. We needed to also take them along with. So it's a beautiful and nice portfolio to be in. But I must say, I also enjoyed development and planning because it was more public facing.
Okay.
So it gave me an opportunity to engage with residents, especially when it comes to issues such as your human settlements. You know, there's housing needs, and people are always on the waiting list. And there's those issues that one has to resolve and facilitate the engagements with the province. But more than anything, there was also your bylaw enforcement that kept me quite busy, making sure that we keep everyone in line and doing what is right in terms of the bylaws of the municipality.
Okay. If I spoke to your friend, your best friend, how would they describe you? maybe that's that's a better way to ask the question. Because you've described yourselves in roles, but we still don't know who the person is. And or your mom, your dad, you know, your sibling. How do they describe you? I mean, who is Mugeti?
It's an interesting one because I think if you were to ask it, if you were to ask a friend of mine who is Mugeti, they'll probably tell you Mugeti has now become a different person now.
Okay.
So I used to be quite playful. I used to be a young person that was out there, but at the same time, very interested in community issues. But now the playful part I've left aside. After all, I'm now more than 35, or I've just reached 35. So I'm no longer, or I do not consider myself as a young person in terms of the youth age, but more a person that is now taking responsibilities or new responsibilities that requires a certain level of maturity, a certain level of conducting yourself, and a certain level of changing how you do things publicly and also behind the scenes. But more than anything, a leader, I think. I see myself as a leader, and that is what some of my friends will also tell you. And the sad part is, at times, because some of my friends, I already work with them in politics or so forth, they will tell you, even outside of their normal working hours, this thing, we carry it with at home, clubs, wherever we go out, because we end up forgetting that you are not a politician outside of the office. You still carry that also when you are with your friends and family. So that's unfortunately I suppose the downside of things, that you carry on being a politician even outside of politics.
And do you not think that you are missing out on a certain part of your life that you should be enjoying? I mean, by you being serious and, getting into this personality that is now no longer playful, that is now no longer social as you used to be. Do you not think personally that you are missing out on, a certain aspect of your life that is important, that a few years down the line, you're going to look back at it and feel like, did I miss out on an important part of my life?
It is. And the sad part is now, even when you want to go out with friends on a public holiday, the 16th of June, just going out and, I suppose, dressing up, going out and having a drink or two, or whatever the case may be, because you are always worried about the image and what that portrays, you end up pulling back. So I've become more an indoor person, just because I do not want to end up being seen in public doing what others would perceive as things that politicians or public figures are not supposed to do. Somebody could easily take a picture of me drinking a beer, and I'm sure it would be a big thing to say, this guy is supposed to be working, but instead he's busy drinking beers with our own money. People forget that outside of politics, I'm also, like you're saying, I used to be a young person, and I suppose I'm still a young person to an extent. I have a life, I have friends, I have people that I engage with. But people always assume that if you do that and there's issues on the ground, then you are neglecting them, you are irresponsible and blah, blah, blah. So it's something else, that one.
And you do not think one day you will grow up to regret not having enjoyed that aspect of, or that era of your life where you could go out and, be more social and be with friends?
I hope not. I hope not. I really hope not.
Okay. All right. Do you feel like the society is sometimes judging politicians or people that are in public office unfairly?
I think politicians,
in a sense that the expectation is that you should not do those things, but you are, after all, a young person or someone that is still social, someone that is a part of a community, a society.
I think our predecessors are the ones to blame more than anything. We've had politicians that had gone rogue, doing all sorts of things, and I suppose it gave politicians an image that we are still, some of us are unfortunately suffering as a result. So the communities and the people that we serve have seen politicians come and go, politicians doing all these things that are wrong. So I suppose the assumption is the next one is exactly the same. So some of us are now having to sort of work in terms of cleaning that image and sort of trying to portray, to say, guys, over and above that, we are still humans. We have our own lives. And, you know, it's a sad thing because even if, say, for instance, I can afford a nice car,
yes,
because I get paid, I always have that guilt feeling to say, Ish, it's money that I'm getting because I work hard. And it could also be I've been saving and I can afford to get myself something nice. But now you think, Ish, if they see you with a nice car, then they'll start making some of these comments to say, Ish, you are stealing our money. How do you afford that car? But people don't know that I've got other things that I'm busy with. You see, that's a thing. Yeah. So you even avoid posting yourself going out for lunch. So there was a time I went with one of my young brothers out. And he took a picture while we were having lunch. And I remember being so worried to say that picture cannot be seen anywhere. You can't even post that picture because people will start saying you are having a nice life while we are having it difficult. So there's always those type of issues.
Yeah, no, it's a
yeah,
it's a difficult one.
It is.
It's a difficult one, I suppose. But as a person, do you? I'm trying to understand. Zoom into your personality. Naturally, would you say you are more of a serious person? How, you know, or you're a bubbly personality that wants to play,
playful. I enjoy going out. Or I used to enjoy going out, but now unfortunately I don't go out as much. I enjoy just being around close friends and family and so forth. Yeah, so that's me. I'm more a playful, outdoor, jolly, and out there. But now, because of where we are in politics, unfortunately now having to be a reserved person that is not seen going out and all of those kind of things. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You mentioned earlier, I just want to touch on that. You mentioned earlier that you started serving in 2017 under Bongani Baloyi. What was your experience of him? I mean, a lot of people said he was an amazing leader.
He was a great leader. He was somebody with a clear vision, and some of those, or some of us that served under his leadership, I have to say, he came always prepared to meetings. He knew what he wanted, and he was leading us. So he made sure that he works with us to get the best out of each one of us. And those were some of the best times in Midvaal, I think.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. How do you get into politics? I mean, what interested you?
I think I started, it was around 2018 when there were issues within the ANC, Malema, and I think Zuma and Beki, blah, 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 at the time.
2013?
18. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is when I started being active or taking part in politics, but maybe taking it a step back. I used to go to rallies of the ANC and listen to politicians making speeches and so forth. And I remember at the time it was something that I would just do because it's holidays and the buses were available, Kokasi, and all of us would go to the stadiums. Later on, around 2018, I started taking interest because I felt I could also contribute. And I also had some ideas that I thought could be, if implemented, could actually resolve some of the issues, because obviously you can imagine I had listened to some of my friends commenting about government, and every time when we go to rallies they would say, we think this one could work better, we think this should be done at the municipal level. So I thought, you know what, let me get involved and also start doing my part, as opposed to staying behind the scenes and complaining all the time about the issues that are not going right, I should say. So 2018, I joined, when I was going to ANC rallies, I was not a member. Okay. I was just an ordinary community member that would get onto the bus and go to Sharpeville, FNB, and all of those kind of things. Then 2018, started being active, joined political parties, took some memberships. And memberships, I've been with two political parties before joining the DA.
Okay, which was...
started with COPE. Tell me about it.
Okay, no comment.
Yeah, it was there at the time, and all of us thought, okay, maybe this is something new that could work. Yeah, that's how I started.
Okay.
But when COPE was not going well, I sort of moved a bit to the ANC.
Okay.
I'm hoping for a better future, better life, as the slogan always said. But then I could not connect with how the ANC was doing things. Then I moved to...
What is it that really bothered you in the main, you know?
I felt as a young person at the time, I was not valued. I was valued to the extent of just being somebody that goes to conferences, vote for somebody.
Okay.
Or when we have to fill a bus or those type of things.
You're there to complete a register.
Yeah, so that's how it felt.
Okay.
My views were not considered. Some of the leaders that would engage with, if anything, they would only be interested with going out for parties. That's the only time they would be interested in some of us. So I felt I was not making an impact or contributing to anything meaningful. So that's when I joined the DA, and I've never looked back, I have to say.
Okay.
That is up until 2016 when I became a PR councillor in Sedibeng after the elections.
Okay.
And then 2017, Bongani decided that I needed to move from Sedibeng and join his mayoral committee in Midvaal.
Okay. I just want to find clarity on the times because you started with 28. Initially you said you joined 2017, but now when you're talking about COPE and the ANC, you're talking about 2018. Is it 2018 or 20?
Oh, sorry, 2008. My apologies. 2008.
Okay.
Yeah, I just said 2018. Yeah, 2008.
I was thinking something is... my calendar is turned upside down. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I started in 2008. That's when I started being active.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fully active, because also at that age, I think I was at the age that I could vote. Yeah.
Okay. So all in all, you've been a councillor since 2016.
Correct.
At Sedibeng.
Yeah.
From Sedibeng to... What was your experience at Sedibeng, by the way? How did you find Sedibeng?
I felt Sedibeng could be better. We could do better also as politicians, and we could be utilized better in our oversight role.
Okay.
But that was not coming. I remember I would only attend one meeting a month. That would be my work. And those meetings would probably be just to sit there, read reports that have been prepared without sufficient information. At times we'd send it back, and it would be a 3-hour that I spent in Sedibeng, and still nothing would be impactful or nothing would come out of it. So it was, I sort of started feeling like it's a municipality that exists for the sake of existence. But it was not doing what it's supposed to be doing in terms of coordinating the locals and making sure that we are having a district-wide plannings and well coordinated, and also implementing certain projects that could benefit all the municipalities. So I felt it was underwhelming, I should say, and yeah.
Okay, interesting. You're contesting the mayorship of Lesedi. I want us to talk about that a little bit, and I need you to help me. So, if a municipality was a corporate, a mayorship position would be that of a chairperson of a board.
Correct.
That's correct. One thing that really puzzles me is, why is it that in government, someone can become a councillor, let's say with a Matric, right? You can become a councillor for 3 years. And then after that, you can become a mayor. You can basically, become a candidate to become a mayor. So essentially, when you think about it, or when I think about it, likening it to a corporate structure, it is it is almost impossible for a person who has a matric to contest a position or to go and apply to become a chairperson of a board of a company. Because when I think about municipalities, these are big entities, public entities. I mean, if you think about Lesedi, it's probably, let's say, at least the 2 billion rands
budget.
Value. Let's say the value of it. I don't know. Let's say it's around 2 billion rands. And I always think, why is it that someone who incorporate, let's say, if I had a company that is worth 2 billion rands, that person with a matric has no chance of applying for a position of chairpersonship, of a board. But in government, someone like that can apply for the mayorship position and actually become a mayor. Why is it that something like that is allowed for?
We are told it's when the new dispensation came in, they tried to bridge the gap because the understanding, or as far as I understand, there was an understanding at the time that because of apartheid, some of the people, especially from the previously disadvantaged background, did not get proper qualifications. Not everyone was qualified, yet we had people that wanted to get into leadership. So they needed to make it easy so that they can participate in governance and so forth and bring their ideas forth. And there was also this understanding that for you to be a representative of the public, you don't necessarily need a qualification. You just need to understand the issues that the public is facing, and yours must be a mouthpiece. That's what some people are saying. But like you're saying, I would say it's one of the reasons the state of local municipalities is the way it is.
Yeah, because I think it's more than just you speaking. I mean, when I think about the chairperson of a board, that person is responsible for the development of a strategy.
That person is responsible for budget, for planning, for policies. It's quite a lot of work. And like you're saying, to have somebody that, in other instances, we even have members of the executive without a matric. So that already tells you, if you are a political principal, you've got people that you are leading in your capacity as a political principal with masters and all this qualification, but you can't even read the documents that they are producing for you to present those documents in council. Then it tells you there's already a problem and a disconnect. And I'm hoping, obviously, at some point, we'll get to a point where we set a minimum requirement or a minimum standard that politicians must meet before we can contest for certain positions.
Yeah.
But I understand the problem also is at the national level, where you've got people running departments or people leading departments as politicians without anything above matrix. So it's something that is rooted in the politics of South Africa, not only the local municipalities.
And that it is one of the reasons why we are having the problems that we are having. Basically, we are putting people in positions that do not really have capacity to fulfill those responsibilities in the roles.
Big time.
What is your qualification background? While on the topic.
Oh wow, you had to throw that in.
We must make sure we can't talk about the problem here.
Oh and you are just leading me into getting there.
Then when you are also part of the problem.
I should have seen that coming. I can guarantee you I've got a matric.
Okay.
I've completed my, I'm completing my degree in economics in this semester.
Okay.
I've got also NQF level 5 in economics. Completed my 3 years, just did not graduate because there's one module that I still need to go back and complete in accounting with Monash. So I've been studying, keeping myself busy with the books.
Okay. If you were requested, so you started in 2016. Let's say by 2019 they said come and act as a mayor. Would you have acted? So I'm trying to test this conversation of us putting people that do not have qualification, do not have capacity, just because, I could say, is it the Municipal Structures Act that allows for this? I'm not sure which act allows for it. Just because the act allows for it, then we say we will do it. Would you have agreed?
I doubt Bongan would even have offered.
But let's say he offered. Let's say he said, Mugeti, look, you've been in this thing for 3 years. I mean, there's a role. I mean, I'm going overseas for 3 weeks.
I probably wouldn't, because I'll tell you what, and I always told him also at the time to say, when I got into development and planning, I was completely new. Did not understand the department, did not understand what was expected of me. So it took me almost 2 years to fully get a full understanding of what is happening in that department and provide the type of leadership that was expected out of me. So imagine within that 2 years, I struggled with development and planning as a huge portfolio. And I assumed it was a big portfolio. So now, a year later, you ask me to also do oversight and be responsible for all these other departments, including engineering and so forth. I don't think I would have done justice to acting as the executive mayor at the time. I don't think I was equipped. I don't think I was prepared. So I don't think I would have done a good enough job.
But then the argument can still be, when you became an MMC of development and planning, even then you still didn't understand what that role required. You did not have enough experience. You did not have enough qualification. You did not have enough experience. How could you then deliver efficiently in that role? And this is a question that, it's still the same question. It's not just the mayorship. It's other roles as well. Why is it that we are putting somebody who knows nothing about local economic development in a role of LED, and we say, lead this thing, and you sit with a municipality that really, really needs to be reignited in as far as economic development is concerned, but you take someone that has no experience, someone that's a baby actually, in as far as that role is concerned. Why is it that we are allowing this? Why is it that, although we see that our municipalities are not functioning, are not performing, we are still saying, it's fine, go and act in that role, even if you don't know?
I think what helped in my case was, remember I said I was a councillor in Citibank for now about a year. During that year, the nice thing is I was given an opportunity to shadow one of the MMCs in Midvaal just to understand the ins and outs. And I had also been to a lot of public engagements to understand the processes in terms of the public participation and all of those things. So bring that 1 year in as a councillor, and now going into Midvaal to a portfolio that I knew something about it as a reason or as a result of shadowing, but I was not fully equipped for that position. However, because there was a good support structure, there was a foundation that was laid also, I could catch up and start bringing me into the role, even though it took about 2 years. So I hear what you're saying, but I think in my case, I was better equipped on the basis of that.
If you become a mayor, would you appoint someone with a Matric into a role of an MMC when they've never functioned in that role? So if you agree that the role, this thing of us appointing people that are less qualified, people that are less experienced, that cannot prove that they've got early learning in that space, or prior learning in that space, if you agree that is wrong, would you continue with that practice if you became the mayor?
That's an interesting question. I would have to look at the pool that I have and get the best person or the best people that could do the job. I'll tell you why. We've got counselors that have been counselors with Matric, let's say, for instance, 10 years, and have been part of committees that are responsible for doing oversight in council.
Yes.
So as much as you take the qualification, let's assume a Matric in this case, you take somebody with Matric that also has a 10-year experience as a counselor. I think that could bridge the gap, but still hope the person continues further with capacitating themselves by going through or continuing with their studies education-wise, or skills or training, or whatever the case may be. So I would consider it, but it would not be somebody that just only has a Matric. It must be somebody that has also served in council for quite some time and gained experience in terms of how council works.
Someone, and I'm sorry, I'm going to now become unfair to you. So someone can also argue that you doing that, you are going to prevent young people from getting opportunities to climb the, the political ladder, if you like, in the same way that you did. Because today, the reason why you're able to stand as a mayoral candidate is because somebody gave you that opportunity when you did not. And I'm just playing the devil's advocate on a question that I
But two things, think about it. Now I'm saying the pool that is provided to me, it means people that are, you can only appoint an MMC from the pool of councillors that you have that qualifies. So I will apply that within that pool.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would also not want to take risks, especially if you consider the position and the issues that the municipalities are facing. Just bring somebody because I just want to say I want to bring somebody young to do the job. It has to be somebody that can do the job, that is experienced, and hopefully highly qualified, so that we don't waste time in resolving the issues that the communities are facing on the ground. Unfortunately, in our case, I do not have 2 years to learn. I cannot bring people that are going to come into the job to learn. It has to be people that will hit the ground running, because if anything, the longer we take to resolve the many issues that the communities are facing on the ground, the more damage and the costly it will become at a later stage to fix some of those issues. So yeah, there will have to be a balance. But more than anything, should and when I get elected as the mayor of Lesedi, I will bring people that are ready, people that are qualified, take into consideration the skills part as well as the experience into the leadership, so that we can save and rescue the municipality and make sure that we do something for the community.
Yeah. If you were to rewrite the, and I'm assuming is the Municipal Structures Act. I don't know. I could be wrong. If you were to rewrite that such that it improves the quality of leaders that we get into the mayoral positions, how would it look like for you?
Good question. That's a very good question.
And I asked this question because I think you are, and I'm also trying to give you time to think about it. I think you are a younger leader, and my thinking is, as young people, we really need to start thinking about these things more critically, because they could be part of the problem that is causing us to have municipalities that are unable to function. Should we not be thinking about appointing people that are, from corporate, or people that are overly qualified, people that are that have proven that they can assume these roles and perform in them, in the same way that your corporate would look at appointing a board chairperson. So what would you change? And I'm assuming that you understand the act better than me.
There's two things though that I would say. Remember, firstly, you've got the administration of the municipality.
Yes.
There you cannot compromise, but you'll have to hire And this is what I would also be doing, hire highly qualified people in those positions. Could be people from corporate, but they must also understand governance and government and government processes, because corporate and government do not work the same. Government is highly legislated, where corporate, it could just be internal policies that are regulating the day-to-day running. But in government is something different. But you also have the political arm, which is responsible for oversight and executive, I suppose, leadership to some extent. That part comes from the community. So I cannot bring somebody from corporate because they're highly qualified to facilitate the community engagements on the ground. Ideally, it must be somebody from the community that they are representing, understanding the issues, representing the community issues, and the community must be able to select and elect somebody suitable that
but
they
it has not
understand
worked.
can deliver.
Me and you agreed that that strategy has not worked, because now you're taking this person from the community, but this person does not have depth to create strategy, to disperse and plan in as far as budgeting is concerned. Like, they just don't have capacity. We are taking you because you understand problems that extension 3. But the problems of extension 3 and the problems of a municipality as a whole are completely different. And we are setting you up for failure.
But then it then becomes a systems issue, and making sure that the community is able to, or the community is well educated enough to bring somebody out of them that can represent them, that is also meeting the minimum standards and the regulations in terms of qualifications.
So you think we should change it at the councillor level? So people must, the people that can stand for being a councillor should be people with certain qualifications.
That would help. That would help a lot.
Interesting.
That would help a lot.
It's interesting because I if you agree that it's a problem, I guess we need to look at things differently, especially future leaders. I mean, the younger generation, we really need to say, but this for us is unacceptable. We do not accept it.
Cannot continue, and we can't keep on blaming and saying the systems were as a result of the previously disadvantaged or the issues in the past and blah blah blah. We need to start moving into not blaming the past, but saying however many years have been, we've been a democratic country. Hopefully everyone has been given a fair chance to go through and learn and study. So we need to start getting the next generation, at least, of leaders that is highly qualified and competent to do the job.
Okay. What do you understand as the problems of Lesedi?
There's quite a lot of issues, but mainly let me start with service delivery.
Okay.
You've got a municipality, in my view, that does not understand the issues and that is not communicating adequately to the communities about those issues. And not only adequately, but honestly. As we speak, there's many areas in Lesedi that is without water. And it's not because of rainwater or whatever issues, but it's because of either the network, municipal infrastructure not being able to feed water correctly. Also, you have issues where the municipality has leaks and all the issues related to leaks, but they're not fixing them. And that is now resulting in people not having water. The recent excuse I got yesterday when I was asking one of the councillors in Lesedi, why do people of Extension 23 do not have water, and why do people of other areas in Ratanda do not have water on the day? I was told, no, we're still waiting for the reservoirs to fill up and so forth. But it can't be that every second day in Lesedi, people are without water because the municipality is still waiting for the reservoirs to fill up. So I think it's number one, the lack of understanding.
Let's not, and I just want to get a bit, I want to get more understanding on this water issue. So water would be pumped from rainwater, bulk, to a reservoir in Lesedi. And then from the reservoir, it is then pumped into their households.
Correct.
So where is the bottleneck? Is it rainwater's pump stations that are lacking in supplying the reservoirs consistently? Is it the pipelines that are going to the reservoirs? Is it the pump stations to the communities? What is the bottleneck?
The bottleneck is when water reaches the municipal infrastructure. So we now remove rainwater because rainwater has done their part, but the municipality now has water within their systems that they need to now deliver to the rest of the communities or the residents. That is where the problem is.
Okay.
You have a problem because the municipality is not able to plan adequately. The municipality has not invested in upgrading and making sure that there's capacity in terms of the infrastructure to deliver and be able to dispense water. But the municipality is also failing to fix the many leaks that they've got throughout Lesedi. So those are the main issues.
I hear you. So I think we'll come. I want us to address the first part, which is like you mentioned that yesterday somebody said the reservoirs, they're still waiting for the reservoir to fill up. So that tells me that there is, a pump that was supposed to pump into a reservoir that either did not pump consistently or that delayed in pumping to the reservoir. And that's what I'm missing in this issue in Lesedi. To say let's say for instance, if you became a mayor, what exactly are you going to fix? Are you going to fix a pump station at a certain area that is not pumping, that has no capacity to fill the reservoir on time? Or what is it exactly that is it a pipeline that is too small such that it cannot pump enough volume of water into this reservoir? What exactly are you going to fix if you become a mayor? That's what I'm trying to, and let's park the leaks. I think we will come to that one. Let's talk about the reservoir that doesn't have enough water. Yesterday, what exactly caused that? And what exactly are you going to fix in as far as yesterday's issue is concerned so that it doesn't happen again? Because I find that we don't know what the exact issue is. We are told
all sorts of stories.
Yeah, like residents know that when they open the tap, there's no water.
Yeah.
We now know from you that the reservoir was not filled to a level where it can distribute water. But what we still don't know is why is it that reservoir was not filled? Are you saying it's because of planning? Somebody just fell asleep and woke up and realized that, I need to pump water to this reservoir. It's almost empty.
You see how confused you are to say what exactly is the issue. That's how some of us are, basically. Because you ask one politician, this is what they will give you. You ask a senior official, they'll give you a different story today and a different one tomorrow. So I think it's lack of understanding from the municipality, and thereby they are not able to plan properly if they do not understand the issue. Or it could be that the municipality is also misleading and not giving enough information to some of those. And
but somebody can argue that if you yourself want to become the mayor, but you don't understand the problem, you then don't inspire confidence that you can solve the actual problem that the community is facing. So basically, what I'm trying to say is this not something that you should be fully understanding? Because if you step into this role and you're saying, guys, I'm going to solve your water problems, but you can't tell us what the problem is that not an indication in itself that you are essentially not ready to can address the issue?
I've always said, and this is what I always say to the residents of Lesedi, is to say, I do not want to mislead people and make it as if like I understand all the issues that Lesedi is facing. You need to be inside so that you can conduct some of these studies and get proper reports in terms of the extent of the problem. If you plan without having proper information and having not done proper studies to understand your capacity, where your issues are, you are likely to diagnose the wrong problem. So it's important for me to be inside so that we can sanction some of these studies so that we can understand the issues, the limitations, and the availability of resources for us to be able to plan and fix these things for the residents of Lesedi. So I could stand here and give you all figures, tell you, no, I think I'm not a engineer, by the way. And tell you, I think that pipe is wrong and this is where the issues are. But if the municipality and the people that are currently in the municipality do not understand the issues, me outside with the limited information, and already a lot of information that we're getting is because we are pushing hard and pushing back to say, no, you said this yesterday, give us more information. Do you even understand the extent of the issues that we're experiencing? So I don't want to fall into the same trap of making promises but not understanding. So what I'm saying is,
you want to be inside.
I want to be inside. I need to be inside so that I can understand the issue and then come up with a solution. That's it.
Vote for me. When I'm inside, I will understand what the problem is. And then when you're inside, we tell you what the problem is, and you're like, guys, sorry, I can't fix this thing. But okay, let me ask, sorry. I just want to ask this. So, hey, this is really puzzling. So, are there no reports that have been, studies that have been conducted? I saw, by the way, that there's a tender that has been issued for design engineers and project management, something. There's a tender that was issued, I think 2 weeks back or something like that. And I'm assuming when you issue a tender like that to say, I want project engineers, I want design engineers to come and give me quotations for this, I'm assuming that you already understand what the problem is and what you're trying to solve. Are there no studies that really talk to the water in Lesedi to say, actually, this is why we have a problem with this water system in Lesedi?
That's what many of us have been asking for. But some of that information is not made available. I do not know why. I met with one engineer from around the area that has been asking a lot of questions formally.
Okay.
Requesting information from the municipality. Equally, the same as some of us have been asking for that information, but it has not been made available. So I think that is where the issue is. You cannot plan and you cannot also sort of outline your plans if you are not provided with information for you to understand where the issue is, because you'll end up making commitments and promises but not delivering. So what I'm then saying is, in my case, I need to go in and understand the issues and then be able to provide some sort of a plan to the community in terms of how we can deal with those issues. But at this point in time, because of the limited information that is being provided to us, the municipality that is not willing to engage, and also some of the issues that I've also outlined, it's very difficult to work in that position.
Yeah. I honestly think it's difficult. I mean, imagine I'm going back to the example of a board of director or a chairperson, of a board who comes to an interview and they say, I want to become the chairperson of this, board or this institution, the board of this institution. But then when you ask the chairperson, we have this problem, yes, I know, how will you address it? And the chairperson doesn't. Somebody will say, that's essentially what you are saying. You are applying to become a chairperson of a board of this organization. You know what the problem is of the organization, or maybe you are battling to explain what the problem is. And I don't know. I mean, what if you get inside there and you can't solve the problem, and then you realize, I know this is too much. I'm unable to can.
I can promise you, with the right leadership, it's possible to solve the problems.
Okay.
And the right leadership that also understands the issue, you are able to resolve that issue. So that's where I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Often, the DA talks about the Midvaal model of governance. What is that? What is the Midvaal model of governance?
It's clean governance.
Okay.
And I think the reports from the Auditor General and everyone else, the SALGA awards, speak them for themselves. We are running a clean governance there, and the municipality's successes are because of the politicians not being too involved in the administration, but rather focusing on oversight.
Okay.
And also providing political leadership where necessary. It's the service delivery, the biggest focus in Midvaal. You'd know, day in, day out, there's focus on service delivery. And service delivery means we are making sure that refuse is collected when we've committed to the residents on time, every time, without fail. Making sure that when people open their taps, there is water coming out, and it's a commitment that has been made. And making sure that there's consistent reliability, I suppose, of electricity. And whenever people report issues, the municipality is able to respond adequately and very efficiently. And you also have a political system or politicians in Midvaal that are quite connected with the residents on the ground, thereby also understanding the issues and making sure that at least when we diagnose some of those issues, is on the basis of what we know. So that is the model the DA speaks about, driving on the roads without potholes, feeling safe, and also the safety, the investment that the municipality has also made in the safety area of the municipality, like your community policing and investment in our infrastructure to make sure that we are able to support SAPS. That is the model that the DA is talking about.
Okay. And can that model be copied in Lesedi?
There's no reason why it cannot be copied, because it's a municipality right adjacent to Lesedi, is right adjacent to Midvaal, within the same district of Citybang. Almost a similar setting in terms of locality, location, and so forth, and the issues that they're experiencing. And I cannot see any reason why the same cannot be replicated in Lesedi.
Somebody could argue that Lesedi is structurally different from Midvaal. Actually, this is what we got to understand from Mayor Lerato when she was here, that Lesedi and Midvaal are actually not the same. Although the population could be similar, the square kilometer area could be almost the same. But structurally, Lesedi has got far much worse problem of poverty, unemployment. There's more RDPs and subsidized housing that has been built in Lesedi as compared to the Midvaal. And because of that, Lesedi sits with an income level that is below that of the Midvaal. So structurally, according to what I could understand from her, Lesedi is different from Midvaal. You don't agree?
I don't agree. The same issues that you've just outlined is problems that have been caused by the current administration. The reason we have oversupply of fully subsidized houses, RDPs, is because the municipality does not plan better. They are just wanting to bring people, which we support, but then they are not supporting that with infrastructure. You cannot bring so many RDPs without also planning for your infrastructure and making sure that there's enough capacity. So it's not a problem that happened on its own. The problem of unemployment and the economy of Lesedi is as a result of the failures of the municipality.
Okay.
If there's no business, no company that will go and invest in an area where there's visibly no service delivery, where the roads have collapsed, where there's sewer everywhere, where there is no reliable water supply. So that on its own results in the unemployment that is so high. So that did not just happen by its own, but it's because the municipality failed to make sure that we also focus on the local economic development, but not forgetting that infrastructure plays a very key role in attracting investment in the area. So I think we should not make it as if like Lesedi's problems are bigger than Midvaal and Midvaal had it easy or whatever the case may be. It's because in Midvaal we've got a government that works, that has been consistently working over time. That means the problems are not as much because government is involved. So to answer your question, the same model can be replicated in Midvaal. I mean, in Lesedi, the same as Midvaal.
But how are you gonna? Okay, let's take a simple example. Let's say, for an example, okay, do you agree that Lesedi, the income levels in Lesedi are slightly different to those of Midvaal, in a sense that Lesedi has got more RDPs that have been built. There's more demand for, let's say, water, for example. But at the same time, there's people cannot afford because there's unemployment, and all of these other issues, social issues. How do you then begin to address the issues of infrastructure lagging behind when the people in the area are not affording to pay for these services so that you have revenue to can address these issues?
I think first and foremost, you start by making sure that those that can afford to pay for service delivery, they do pay. You make sure that you tighten your credit control and collect as much as possible so that you can reinvest that money back into the communities. So if you've got areas that still have a very low collection rate, it's a problem and the municipality is not doing anything about it. If you've got a municipality within the budget, if most of the budget does not go into where most of the issues are, which is the priorities, then that's where you have a problem. So my point is, you cannot say the problems are there and we do not have enough resources to fix the problems, but not start somewhere. And we need to start with credit control and making sure that we collect. We also need to make sure that at least with the limited resources that we've got, the work that we do is of quality, especially also supporting where there's businesses so that we can retain those businesses, because there's businesses living in Lesedi on a regular basis. British American Tobacco recently announced that they are closing. So that means a lot of families will lose opportunities. Therefore, it's more people that are unemployed within the area, therefore not being able to pay for services. So if we are not also focusing on retention or retaining the existing businesses by having an open door policy for them, engaging with them on a regular basis so that we find each other and collaboratively go into this thing and fix the problems, then we will not get anywhere.
Has the collections within Lesedi being mapped to understand which areas of Lesedi are lacking when it comes to paying for their services and which ones are paying? Do we have that information?
Yes, that information exists.
So what would be your focus with that? And I'm assuming that what would be your focus? Maybe first of all, break it down to us so that we understand, in as far as the collections of revenue is concerned, which areas are lagging behind, probably what is causing that, and what would be your strategy in ensuring that you're able to collect, so that we don't just sit with a situation where we talk about collecting money, but I mean, you don't understand where you're going to collect it from, and you also don't understand why this person is not paying. I just want to get clarity in that, to say this is where we want to start. or this is our understanding of the issue of collections within Lesedi. This is where we're going to start, and this is how we're going to resolve.
We've got areas in Lesedi that can afford to pay, and they are paying. I'll make an example. You've got your Heidelberg, the collection rate is quite well there. I just don't have the percentages of by heart. Your Rensburg, there's good collection rate. You've got your Overgreen. These are the suburbs within Lesedi that are paying. But there are still people that are not paying within those areas, but they can afford to pay.
Okay.
So that means we need to make sure that everyone that is getting a service from the municipality and can afford to pay must pay for the services. But you've got areas in Ratanda where people are not paying, either because of unemployment or whatever the reasons are. So that means the municipality must also start implementing the policies that exist within the municipality. If a municipality says, when you apply for an indigent, we then give you a prepaid water meter and a prepaid electricity so that you can use what is allocated to you. We need to implement that policy. That way we are able to cap wastage and we are able to plan properly.
Okay.
But that policy exists, but the municipality is not implementing it. And also we need to make sure that our credit control, we have correct information and billing. Because you can imagine for somebody to get a wrong statement and be forced to pay, that is also a problem and it's unfair. So people end up saying, what is the point of me paying if the account I'm getting on its own is not correct? So that is, I suppose, where we need to start. Mine would be to say there's an existing policy for areas where people have applied for indigent. We need to implement those policies and give people prepaid meters so that we can cap the wastage. And if people use anything above what is allocated by the municipality, therefore they need to pay for that one. But then where people are supposed to be paying in affluent areas, we need to make sure that we collect from everyone. And if people are not paying, then proper credit control processes must be followed to collect.
Okay. Once you've submitted the mountain of collections, which infrastructures are you going to? Do you want to focus on improving capacity on?
The first and foremost would be water.
Okay.
Making sure that we've got enough capacity. We've got capacity, and also our infrastructure is capable to carry water from point A to point B without causing issues between those points. So that means we need to also cap the wastage in terms of your leakages, respond in time or as quick as possible to close the leaks or deal with the leaks.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to jump in on the leaks because you made that point earlier. Do you know what is the percentages of water that is non-revenue water?
Yeah, water losses. I don't have it here.
With you.
Could pick up my phone and check it for you, but I know it's there in one of the reports.
Okay.
But it's not a
Is it in the
position that
70% like?
No, it's roughly in the 30s, I think.
30s, okay.
Just above 30s, if not 40s, somewhere there. But the concerning part is that you still have leaks in Lesedi even as we speak. The councillors are reporting leaks. The municipality is failing to respond to those leaks quicker. While at the same time, we are owing rainwater so much, and to service that debt from rainwater is quite a lot on its own.
How much is the debt to rainwater?
Last I checked, it was just around 400 million.
400.
Just double check.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the last figure that I saw. So those are the issues that we're supposed to be resolving, making sure that we pay our debt and fixing the, I almost said the potholes, fixing the water leaks that are also causing potholes, by the way. And yeah, that would be. Okay. But more than anything, the key priority for me in terms of infrastructure would be to make sure that we provide water consistently to the residents of Lesedi.
Okay.
That means we must understand where the issues are. And we must also make sure that we invest in upgrading the infrastructure so that there's enough capacity to deliver. Yeah,
okay. So it's water, the leaks especially. Sorry, I might have fallen asleep. What is the next one? So you mentioned water.
Yeah. There's issues with sewer capacity.
Sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I always tell people that it's also a ticking time bomb. You've just said there's a lot of RDPs that have been built, and recently I visited the block of flats in Obed Nkosi, there by Ward 1. And there's already sewer popping out in people's homes, literally flashing, and there's somebody that has not even occupied a house that has been allocated to them because there's sewer every day that pops out of the bathrooms, the toilets, unprovoked. I went to see that. I'll show you a video now. It's scary. People there have a dam of sewer, and like, I think I need to show you that so that you understand.
I think you'll share the video. We'll put it on the on this episode. So what is the problem again? Let's go back to the sewer. What is the problem with the sewer? Help us understand. Is the sewer pipeline old? Why is it that they're getting blocked? Capacity. Is it capacity again?
Capacity.
Okay.
So it's all good and well that we are promoting Lesedi as investor friendly, inviting people to come and reside there or move their businesses there, and whatever the case may be. But if we don't make provisions in our infrastructure for whatever that we are inviting, then it's a problem. There's so many RTP houses that have been built in a short space of time in Ratanda. But what the municipality failed to do is to upgrade the sewer infrastructure so that it can accommodate all those people that they are moving in. I think that is the biggest issue. So I would also focus and invest in making sure that the infrastructure in terms of sewer, we have enough capacity for when people are flushing their toilets, that must go to where it's supposed to go and not leak everywhere.
How do you finance that? How are you going to finance the sewer repair? Mfuleni sits with the same problem, and we got to understand from the MD of Rand Water that they're actually going to get loans through the new water utility that they are creating. So how will you finance the upgrading or repair of the pipelines?
There is grants that is available from Treasury. We would have to identify those grants and apply. If it means we also need to identify other means of funding those projects, we must do that as a municipality, the extent to which we would consider also the loans.
Okay. Can a municipality get a loan? Yes.
Yes.
It can. Sure. Okay.
The municipality can get a loan.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So it's sewer, water. What else do you want to prioritize?
So this is only on infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, making sure that our roads are drivable.
Okay.
Because it's also safe to drive in the roads that does not have potholes. So that is where I would, and because the thing is, with all these issues and all these focuses that I'm telling you about, they link quite properly with the local economy. I could tell you that my focus is also going to be on economic development and making sure that we create jobs and we retain and attract new investments into the area.
How are you going to create jobs?
So now it starts back with fixing our infrastructure and the issues that we have in terms of service delivery.
Okay.
Because like I'm saying, it's difficult to sell the municipality as an investor destination if you can't even provide the basic services consistently to the people that you are inviting. So we need to make sure that we focus on visible service delivery and make sure that we understand the capacities that we have. That way, we can then start speaking to businesses and saying we are ready to house you in Lesedi.
Okay.
So if we are able to attract businesses, and how to attract businesses is also by making sure that we have an open door policy for businesses to engage with us. We will also put in place, which is something that is happening in Midvaal, an investment committee that will focus on the retention and attraction of investment by packaging the municipality and making sure that the municipality is marketed out there. In Lesedi, we are also strategically positioned. We've got the N17 and N3 just crossing Sidibeng.
Yes.
I mean Lesedi. So that already positions Lesedi as a possible logistics hub.
Okay.
So with those major routes, we can actually attract investment, especially towards logistics, and maybe pump and push and go all out on a campaign of attracting businesses. Because as you can imagine, coming from your Midrand and all of those areas, there's not enough land remaining there. So businesses are looking for opportunities of where to go. But they cannot go anywhere where there's no proper service delivery. So we need to make sure that our house is in order before we attract those businesses. But then those engagements must happen early so that we are able to arrest the joblessness and the numbers that are scaring some of us in Lesedi.
What is your perception of the Vaal SEZ and the projects that are already underway there?
It's a good concept. I participated in my capacity as the MMC for economic development in Midvaal.
Okay.
And I think they have great potential, but my only worry is that it has been promised for a long time. Many of the projects were promised long time ago, and we are yet to see delivery completion of some of those projects. So yeah, it's a good thing, but also as a local municipality, I believe there's a role to play in terms of attracting other investments.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to get your perception of this. When we had Mr. Nkolisi Machamba from Vaal SEZ or DTI, he said that Vaal SEZ the project has already commenced in Lesedi. You know that construction is underway. There's already factories that are being established. Is that your experience? Do you know if there's already companies that are setting up?
I can confirm. I know there's one in Rensburg.
Okay.
And one of our councillor is the chairperson of the PSC there.
Okay.
So they have turned the soil. It's a construction site, but we have not seen anything promising as yet that the project will be completed on time or will be completed.
What is being constructed there?
Good question. Good question. But I know there's quite a few SEZ proposed for Lesedi. If I'm not mistaken, one is also an airport of some sort. But the specific one that you're asking me for, I just know I have seen a couple of containers. The councillor always goes there to solve the issues. So,
yeah. The reason why I ask you about Vaal SEZ is when I asked you how are you going to resolve the unemployment issue, I actually thought you'll mention something about the SEZ, and
I don't think that on its own is good enough.
Really?
I really don't think it will make a dent.
Okay.
You need an aggressive sort of plan, and you need to go aggressively for attracting new businesses. You cannot just rely on the Vaal SEZ when there's so many problems with retaining the existing businesses, because you are likely to bring others through SEZ, but then those that are already existing are leaving or looking for opportunities elsewhere. So you are not solving the problem. So if you fix the infrastructure and retain the existing businesses, and then also identify areas of opportunities where, such as your possible logistics hub along the N17, N3, then you are opening your net wider, you are growing the economy. Because I feel like what they are currently focusing on is just bringing one or two businesses, but it does not help if you are having so many other businesses living the area and you are not capping that moving of businesses out.
Okay. And why are businesses leaving? Is it because of, let me not assume, why are businesses leaving?
In one of the engagements I had with a business person within Lesedi, they said Number one, there's no roads. So their trucks are struggling to get to and out of the factory. Inconsistent water supply. Half the time they do not have water. Thereby you can imagine that also affects their production. There's sewer, there's almost sewer everywhere also in Rensburg. So those villages, already the smell is not healthy for them to remain in the area. So those are some of the reasons, and they will tell you that we've attempted and tried and have written letters to the municipality to say, open your doors so that we can engage with you, but the municipality is not willing to engage with them. So those are some of the issues that businesses are experiencing.
Okay. Yeah, it's all right. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Currently, you guys in council, you have how many councillors?
5.
ANC got over 50% in the last election.
Just 50%.
Yeah, around 50. Do you think you're gonna get?
We're going for 13 seats.
13.
Yeah, which is 50%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you think you're optimistic about that?
Very. The community is ready. People are frustrated, and they've given up on the party that they believed in, especially in Ratanda, which is the ANC. So we are speaking to people. They are receiving us well, and we are also doing our groundwork in terms of making sure that our voters come out to vote on election day.
Okay. In the event you do not get the 50%, are you willing to go into coalitions, and what would be the guiding principles for that?
Yes, we are willing to. Well, number one, we're going for a win, but in an unlikely scenario that we do not get 50+1 or more, then we would consider getting into coalition with a party that shares the same values and principles as ours, as the Democratic Alliance. I'll make an example. We will not negotiate with any party that does not abide by the Constitution. That is the foremost thing that we'll put on the table.
Okay.
But then when we also engage, the priorities must be clear to say, this is the type of administration that we want, and this is where we believe the budget must go towards in terms of the municipality, and this is the priorities that we need to put forward. So those are some of the basics that we'll engage with. It definitely will be to say we will also make sure that when we get into office, and which is one of the primary things that we want to do, make sure that we do an assessment of the people that we have employed by the municipality, whether or not there's enough capacity. Are they properly skilled? Are they in the right positions for the right jobs? So those are some of the things that we'll be putting forward to say there's no point in us forming coalition, but we get into a municipality, we don't agree on some of these nitty-gritties. So those would need to be ironed out before we agree to partner with people in terms of governance.
Okay. All right. Mr. Mugeti, I think that's it for today. I see we have gone by far past the time that we were supposed to get to, but really appreciate you coming through, and good luck on the fight. Please don't get tired. We still have 4 months to go.
Like you said, time flies.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I thought we were only 30 minutes into the interview. Yeah, but thank you so much. I really hope we'll come back once we've also launched our pledge, so that we can outline in detail our plan. The plan that you've been asking me about. So let me go do the groundwork.
No, we need to ask you guys difficult
Fair
questions
enough.
because slogans and manifestos.
We hide behind those as politicians.
Yeah, no, man, it's not enough, and we've seen it's 30 years, and we need to talk to the issues, and we need to say how exactly are you going to resolve these issues. Until we get to that, I think we are just going to sit with the same problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this is we want to be a friend to yourself and many others.
Welcome friends. We're going to elections, so friends are welcome.
Yeah, and many others. Not just you. I don't want people to think. Yeah, but thank you very much.